Good morning/afternoon/evening, everyone. Before we dive into this, let me be clear. I'm not in the business of making people miserable. But let's be honest. Some people walk around like they're the sun and the rest of us are just planets, obligated to orbit them. And those people, they can do a number on us. We're talking about narcissists. Not the I take too many selfies kind, the real ones. The ones who manipulate, gaslight, and somehow always make everything about them, even when it's your birthday, your accomplishment, your moment. If there's one thing a narcissist can't stand, it's being ignored. It's like taking the air out of their lungs, the fuel out of their fire, the Wi-Fi out of their phone. They don't just dislike it, they despise it. And that's because narcissists thrive on attention. Any attention, whether it's admiration, validation, or even conflict, it all feeds their ego. Now let's be real, ignoring a narcissist isn't easy. If you've ever tried to disengage from one, you know what happens. They don't just slink away quietly. No, they escalate. They poke, prod, and push every button they can find. They'll send manipulative texts, create drama, or suddenly act like the most charming, apologetic person in the world. Why? Because they need your attention like a plant needs sunlight. But here's the thing, when you refuse to react, when you stop engaging, when you let their words and actions pass by without a response, something amazing happens. They start to lose their grip. The control they once had over you weakens. And nothing frustrates them more than realizing that the person they used to manipulate is no longer playing their game. Why ignoring a narcissist works, it starves their ego. Narcissists are like emotional vampires. They need constant validation to survive. When you ignore them, you're cutting off their supply. Without someone reacting to their provocations, they start to feel powerless. And that is their worst nightmare. It disrupts their control. Narcissists love to pull people into their emotional whirlwind. They want to be the puppet master, dictating how you feel and respond. But when you ignore them, you take back that power. You become the one in control of your own emotions, and they absolutely hate that. It exposes their insecurities. Here's something most narcissists will never admit. They are deeply insecure. Beneath the bravado and arrogance is someone who is terrified of being insignificant. Ignoring them forces them to sit with that fear. And let's be honest, nothing is more miserable for a narcissist than confronting their own emptiness. How to ignore a narcissist, effectively ignoring them, isn't just about refusing to speak to them, it's about refusing to engage with their tactics. Here's how you do it. No emotional reactions. Whether they're insulting you, guilt-tripping you, or love-bombing you, stay neutral. Imagine you're a brick wall. Whatever they throw, it doesn't stick. No responding to bait. They'll try to provoke you, maybe by bringing up something painful from the past or accusing you of something ridiculous. Don't take the bait. Just let it slide. Limit or cut off communication. If possible, reduce contact. If you have to communicate, like for work or co-parenting, keep it strictly business. Short, factual, and to the point. Act like they don't exist. This one is tough but effective. If a narcissist sees that their presence no longer impacts you, they lose interest. What happens when you ignore a narcissist? If there's one thing a narcissist hates more than being ignored, it's being held accountable. They will go to extreme lengths to avoid responsibility. Why? Because their entire identity is built on the illusion that they are always right, always the victim, and always above reproach. When you hold them accountable, you crack that illusion. And that, my friends, makes them absolutely miserable. But let's be real. Holding a narcissist accountable is not like calling out an average person who made a mistake. Normal, emotionally healthy people, though they may not love it, can acknowledge when they've messed up. They might apologize, reflect, or try to make things right. A narcissist, not so much. Instead, they deflect, gaslight, lie, and blame others. So how do you hold a narcissist accountable in a way that protects your peace while making it clear that you see through their tactics? Buckle up. Why narcissists hate accountability. They believe rules don't apply to them. A narcissist operates under a special set of rules, ones that benefit them. They can break promises, betray trust, and twist the truth, but the moment you point it out, suddenly you're the problem. Holding them accountable forces them to confront the reality that they are not above the rules, and they hate that. They can't stand criticism. Even if it's true, a narcissist's ego is fragile, so fragile that even the smallest critique can feel like an attack. When you hold them accountable, they don't hear constructive feedback. They hear you're a failure. Instead of owning up, they lash out or flip the script to make you the villain. They thrive on blame shifting. Narcissists have an Olympic level ability to avoid blame. If something goes wrong, they will find a way to make it someone else's fault. Your fault, society's fault, their childhood's fault. Holding them accountable forces them to face a truth they worked so hard to avoid. They are responsible for their own actions, and that terrifies them. How to hold a narcissist accountable without losing your mind now. Here's the tricky part. Holding a narcissist accountable is not the same as arguing with them. You can't reason with them the way you would with a rational person. You have to be strategic, emotionally grounded, and firm in your approach. One step, stick to the facts and don't let them twist the narrative. Narcissists love emotional manipulation. If you say, you lied to me, they might respond with, you're too sensitive, or you always make me the bad guy. Instead of engaging in their emotional gymnastics, stick to the facts. Keep it neutral and specific. Wrong way, you never respect me. Right way, you told me you would be home by 8, but you came in at midnight without letting me know. This is the pattern and I'm not okay with it. Facts are harder to argue with than feelings. A narcissist will still try to twist them, but staying factual makes it harder for them to escape responsibility. 2, don't get sucked into emotional drama. When confronted, narcissists often create chaos as a distraction. They'll bring up things from the past, shift the blame, or even start an unrelated argument to throw you off track. The key? Stay calm. If they raise their voice, lower yours. If they accuse you of something unrelated, don't take the bait. The moment they see they can't drag you into an emotional battlefield, they start losing power. And the gray rock response is, the gray rock method is simple. Be as boring and unresponsive as possible. When you don't give them an emotional reaction, they lose interest in trying to manipulate you. Instead of, you're so selfish, you never take responsibility for anything, say, I'm not engaging in this conversation unless we can discuss it calmly. It sounds simple, but it's powerful. When a narcissist realizes they can't bait you into an argument, they get frustrated because conflict is how they control people. Or set consequences and stick to them. Narcissists are masters at pushing boundaries. If they lie, disrespect you, or manipulate a situation and you let it slide, they will keep doing it. The only way to stop the cycle is to enforce real consequences. If they repeatedly break their word, stop trusting them. If they disrespect you, remove yourself from the conversation. If they keep gaslighting you, walk away or cut contact if necessary. The key is following through. Narcissists test limits. If you say, if you lie to me again, I won't trust you anymore, but then continue as if nothing happened, they win. Set your boundary, stick to it, and watch them squirm. What happens when you hold a narcissist accountable? They'll play the victim. If a narcissist can't control you, they'll try to control how others see you. Expect them to tell people you're overreacting or treating them unfairly. They need to be the victim because the alternative, being responsible, is unbearable for them. They might try to charm you back. If playing the victim doesn't work, They may suddenly become charming and affectionate. They'll apologize, promise to change, or act like the perfect partner, friend, or coworker. Don't fall for it. It's a cycle, and once they feel secure again, they'll go back to their old ways. They may rage or disappear. Some narcissists react to accountability with full-blown anger. If they can't manipulate you, they may lash out, insult you, or even give you the silent treatment as punishment. Let them. Their silence is actually a gift. It means they can't control you anymore. If there's one thing a narcissist absolutely hates, it's boundaries. They see them as obstacles to their control, walls that keep them from manipulating you as they please. Boundaries tell a narcissist, this is where I end and you begin. And that is a message they do not want to hear. But here's the tricky part. Setting a boundary isn't enough. You have to stick to it. Because narcissists test boundaries. They push them, bend them, and outright ignore them just to see if you'll back down. And if you do, they know they still have control. So let's talk about how to set strong boundaries with a narcissist, and more importantly, how to enforce them. Why narcissists hate boundaries. They thrive on control. Narcissists feel powerful when they can dictate your emotions, your reactions, and even your decisions. Boundaries put a stop to that. They tell the narcissist, you don't get to control me. That's a message they can't stand. They believe they are entitled to everything, your time, your energy, your attention. Narcissists think it all belongs to them. When you set a boundary, you're essentially saying, no, you don't own me. And that's deeply offensive to someone who thinks they are the center of the universe. They see boundaries as rejection. In the mind of a narcissist, a boundary isn't just a rule, it's a personal attack. If you tell them, I won't tolerate yelling, they don't hear a reasonable request. They hear, you're not good enough for me. And instead of respecting your boundary, they lash out. How to set boundaries with a narcissist, one in a secret. Be clear and direct. Narcissists love ambiguity because it gives them room to twist your words. That's why your boundaries need to be crystal clear. Instead of saying, I don't like when you raise your voice, say, if you yell at me, I will end the conversation immediately. This makes it clear if they cross the boundary, there will be a consequence. 2, do not justify or explain. Narcissists will try to argue, guilt trip, or manipulate you into backing down. The more you explain why you need a boundary, the more ammunition you give them to break it. Wrong approach. I really need you to stop criticizing me because it makes me feel bad and I've had a rough day. Right approach. I won't continue conversations where I'm being insulted. You don't owe them an explanation. A boundary is not a debate, it's a statement. 3, the pattern of pushback, and stay firm. When you first set a boundary with a narcissist, they will push back. Guilt tripping. So I guess I'm just a terrible person. Gaslighting. You're overreacting. I didn't mean it like that. Anger. You're so selfish for making all these rules. Love bombing. You know I care about you. Why are you being so distant? This is the test. If you give in, they will never take your boundaries seriously again. Stay firm, stay calm, and repeat the boundary as needed. 4, enforce consequences. Every single time. A boundary without a consequence is just a suggestion. And narcissists do not respect suggestions. Weak boundary, please don't yell at me. Strong boundary, if you yell at me, I will leave the room. Weak boundary, I don't like when you call me names. Strong boundary, if you insult me, I will hang up the phone. The moment they cross the line, follow through immediately. If you let it slide even once, they will take it as permission to keep pushing. 5, use the broken record technique. Narcissists are relentless. They will try to wear you down by arguing, playing the victim, or trying to guilt you into backing off. This is where the broken record technique comes in. You repeat your boundary calmly and firmly, no matter what they say. Example, narcissist, I was just joking. You, I won't engage in conversations where I'm being insulted. Narcissist, oh, so I can't even speak my mind anymore? You, I won't engage in conversations where I'm being insulted. Narcissist, wow, you've changed. You used to be fun. You, I won't engage in conversations where I'm being insulted. Eventually they realize they can't manipulate you and either stop or shift their focus elsewhere. 6, remove emotional reactions. Narcissists feed on your emotional response. If they see that pushing your boundaries frustrates, upsets, or angers you, they'll keep doing it just to get a rise out of you. The trick? Don't react. Stay calm, detached, and neutral. If you need to, use the gray rock method. Be boring, unemotional, and unresponsive to their drama. What happens when you stick to your boundaries? They'll test you even more. At first, narcissists don't like losing control. And when they realize you're serious about your boundaries, they may escalate, pushing harder, manipulating more, or throwing tantrums. Do not back down. This phase will pass. They may try to charm you back if anger doesn't work. They'll switch tactics. They'll suddenly become sweet, apologetic, or shower you with attention. Don't fall for it. Stay firm. They might smear you to others. If they can't control you directly, they might try to control how others see you. Expect them to play the victim. Tell others you're being cold or mean or spread lies. Let them. The people who matter will see the truth. They'll eventually back off. If you stay consistent, a narcissist will eventually realize that their usual tactics don't work on you anymore. They may sulk, throw a fit, or try one last attempt at manipulation, but deep down, they know they've lost control, and that drives them crazy. If there is one thing a narcissist truly hates, it's being left behind. It's realizing that the person they once controlled, manipulated, and kept small has outgrown them. A narcissist thrives on keeping you stuck in their web of drama, stuck questioning your worth, stuck doubting yourself. Because as long as you are stuck, you are manageable, you are theirs. But the moment you start growing, evolving, and stepping into your power, that's when their grip begins to loosen. And nothing makes a narcissist more miserable than knowing they no longer hold any influence over you. Outgrowing a narcissist isn't just about leaving them behind physically, it's about something deeper. It's about mentally, emotionally, and spiritually surpassing them, stepping into a version of yourself that they can no longer touch, no longer manipulate, no longer define. It's about rising so high that their negativity, their mind games, and their toxicity no longer reach you. But make no mistake, this journey isn't easy. A narcissist does not want you to grow. They will resist, fight, and try everything in their power to keep you exactly where they want you. So let's talk about what outgrowing a narcissist really means, why they hate it so much, and how you can fully step into the next, stronger version of yourself. Why narcissists hate when you outgrow them? They lose their sense of control. A narcissist's entire power over you comes from your emotional dependence on them. Maybe they made you believe you weren't good enough. Maybe they convinced you that you needed them. Maybe they planted doubt in your mind every time you tried to better yourself. The moment you start growing, whether it's healing emotionally, building confidence, or creating a life that doesn't revolve around them, they panic. Because if they can't control how you see yourself, they can't control you at all. They can no longer manipulate you. Narcissistic manipulate through fear, guilt, and self-doubt. They make you second guess your decisions, your worth, your reality. But once you outgrow them, you start seeing through their tactics. You stop falling for the guilt trips. You stop fearing their disapproval. You stop caring about their opinion. And nothing frustrates a narcissist more than realizing that their tricks no longer work on you. They feel replaced and insignificant. Narcissists need to feel important. They need to believe that they are the most influential force in your life. When they see you moving on, thriving without them, forming new relationships, finding happiness on your own, It shatters their illusion. And that feeling of insignificance, of being forgotten, it's unbearable for them. How to outgrow a narcissist for good. Outgrowing a narcissist isn't just about cutting ties. It's about stepping into the person you were always meant to be without their influence keeping you small. Here's how to do it. 1, stop seeking their validation. A narcissist wants you to crave their approval. They set up a dynamic where you constantly seek their validation, whether it's through their praise, attention, or even just avoiding their criticism. But the truth is, you don't need it. You don't need their permission to be happy. You don't need their approval to succeed. You don't need their validation to feel worthy. The moment you stop looking to them for affirmation, you start breaking free. 2, level up in every aspect of your life. One of the best ways to outgrow a narcissist, become everything they said you couldn't be. If they told you that you weren't smart enough, go learn, grow, and prove to yourself how capable you are. If they made you feel unworthy, start surrounding yourself with people who recognize your value. If they kept you in a cycle of drama and chaos, build a life that is peaceful, joyful, and free of their influence. The best revenge isn't anger. It isn't proving them wrong to their face. It's silently becoming someone they can never bring down again. 3. Heal from the damage they cause. Narcissists leave emotional scars. Their words, their manipulation, their treatment of you, it leaves an impact. And if you don't heal from it, those wounds will keep you trapped in their influence. Healing means identifying and challenging the false beliefs they instilled in you. I'm not good enough. Yes, you are. Rebuilding your self-esteem because they worked hard to destroy it. Forgiving yourself for not seeing the red flags sooner because you didn't deserve what they put you through. Seeking support through therapy, books, or a strong community to process your experience and move forward. Healing is not about excusing what they did. It's about making sure they no longer have a hold on you. 4, stop engaging in their drama. A narcissist's favorite weapon? Chaos. They want you to be reactive. They want you to engage. They want you to still care, even if it's through anger, frustration, or arguments. When you stop engaging in their drama, they lose power. Stop explaining yourself. Stop trying to get them to see your point. Stop defending yourself against their lies. Just let them be wrong. Let them say what they want. Let them create whatever narrative they need to feel important. You don't have to participate. 5. Build a life that doesn't include them. This is the ultimate step in outgrowing a narcissist. Creating a life so full, so happy, so rich in meaning that they no longer have a place in it. That means pursuing your dreams, whether big or small. Forming healthy, supportive relationships. Finding joy in things that have nothing to do with them. Reconnecting with the parts of yourself they tried to suppress. You don't just move on, you move up. What happens when you outgrow a narcissist? They'll try to pull you back, expect attempts to re-enter your life. Maybe they'll act like they've changed. Maybe they'll play the victim. Maybe they'll test to see if they still have control over you. Don't fall for it. They'll smear you to others. They can't handle the fact that you're doing better without them, so they may start spreading lies about you. Ignore it. Their version of events doesn't matter. They'll try to find someone else to control. Narcissists need a new supply. If they realize they can't manipulate you anymore, they'll move on to someone else. It's sad, but it's not your problem anymore.